So we just witnessed the official closing of the fifth session of the Joint Permanent Commission of Cooperation held here in Swakopmund. Of course, a large delegation from Ghana arrived here and have been deliberating, for the entire week. We are now joined here on set by the Foreign Affairs Minister and Regional Integration Minister, that's Shirley Botchwey, to, of course, just briefly reflect on the outcomes of this engagement. Minister Botchwey, thank you for taking the time out to speak to us here.
Thank you very much. Like you said, we've just concluded the fifth PJCC between Ghana and Namibia. The last one, the fourth, was very successful in Accra. And today we are here. And it's been the ministerial, which just ended, was preceded by that of the senior officials. Looked at several areas. Most importantly, did a review of what we did in Accra. And looked at what the successes have been with the review, with the fourth PJCC. If there are any issues that we need to deal with, was also looked at. And so far it's been very successful. We're looking forward to the one in Accra in 2026. What we have said, both ministers have said to our senior officials, is the importance of monitoring. We do not want a situation where they're left, the decisions, the MOUs that we've signed, the agreements are left on the shelves to gather dust. Then it's of no use having all these meetings, because the end result is to ensure that it's beneficial to the people of Namibia and the people of Ghana. And so we've tasked them to ensure that they review it periodically and make sure that if there are any issues, if we need concerns, so that in 2026, we have a very successful one as well. And we move forward, we progress in the areas that we have identified, whether it's trade and investment, whether it's in fisheries and aquaculture, whether it's in the aviation sector, whether it's defense, maritime. These are all areas that are has so much potential for the two countries to benefit from. I think it's important to share experiences. And this is the whole idea of friendship. We do not want a situation where we are reinventing the wheel. If somebody's been able to do it and has been successful, as the best practices are there to learn from, why not? And this is the reason why we come together in such instances. If you've had issues in terms of failures, we even want to learn from that so that we do not go through repeat. So this is what we've done with regards to coming together, identifying areas that we will focus on for the PJCC, and then making sure that we zero in terms of agreements or MOUs to work on.
Another key outcome from this fifth session is, of course, the request to elevate the PJCC to that of a binational commission, which would really allow, these sessions to be chaired or co-chaired, by the heads of state of our respective countries. Just talk to us about how this would spur bilateral relations from your perspective, yes.
National Commission, it means that they decide also on the areas of focus, and they give the ministers the marching orders to go and ensure that these areas are covered in terms of engagement. So for us, we've reached a point where we believe we've made progress. What we need is that influence of our presidents to now zero in and tell us that these other areas or the areas that you've chosen are okay. And this is where we want to be in terms of our relationship. And it always, if you have two heads of state co-chairing, more impact. it works if you have the ordinary PJCC.
Minister Botchwey, you also stand as candidate for the Republic of Ghana as far as the position of Secretary General for the Commonwealth is concerned. First and foremost, talk to us about you standing for this position, but secondly also, what do you bring to the table should you get the position, should you secure the position, as far as perhaps reformations within the Commonwealth here?
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I am a candidate for the position of Secretary General for the Commonwealth come this October. The election will be in Samoa in the Pacific. This is when the term of Baroness Scotland, who is the current Secretary General, when her term comes to an end. And we will all, if you are paying attention to what happened in Rwanda, the heads of government decided that the Commonwealth had come to a crossroads. It was echoed by the head of the Commonwealth, the Queen then, late Queen, who was represented by the Prince then, now the King, King Charles, that there was the need for us to now look at how the Commonwealth will benefit its 50s. Good to belong to an association, but then the question is, what do you derive from the association, especially if you're paying your commitments to the association? Your citizens are going to be wondering what are they getting out of it. We all know that with the Commonwealth, most people know the Commonwealth in Africa because they come in as election observers. And then, of course, the Commonwealth Games. Now, there's so many areas that we really need to put focus on as a Commonwealth. The first of all, I think that trade and investment is one very important area. We need to put emphasis and focus on it. We have 56 countries. Some big countries in terms of population and in terms of size of economy. Some very small countries. What do we do in terms of trade and investment? We've always talked about a free trade area. Africa has been able to do the African Continental, would go ahead and implement it, African Continental Free Trade Area. Can the Commonwealth do it? It has been talked about. It has been shied away from. I think the time is now for us to benefit through trade and investment. We've always said that, and it's my president who has always insisted that no country can develop through aid. It has to be trade. And so that's the focus that Commonwealth countries should now be looking at, to bring up in terms of size of economy, in terms of the progression in development of the some of the small countries, economies.
If I can just quickly interrupt you there, Minister, there's often been the question about, is the Commonwealth beneficial to Africa? Should Africa belong, or African countries belong to the Commonwealth? How do you respond to that question?
I think that now more than ever before, we should belong to the Commonwealth. Like I was just talking about the issue of trade. Trade is very important. We talked about trading to the tune of 2 trillion. It is possible. We need to now ensure that we do the necessary to have that free trade area to assist us. Investment in each other's countries is possible. It is key. You have the Trinidad and Tobago Bank, the Republic Bank, now setting up in African countries. That's what we want to see. We want to see the private sector setting up in the countries within the Commonwealth. That free trade area is important. Industrialization. We have. And Africa, if I take Africa alone as an example, we have a youthful population. They need jobs. We need skills. We need to give them skills. We need to give them education. We need to provide jobs for them. It can only be done through industrialization. So that's important. Now, another area of focus is the youth education, which I just talked about, skills training and providing them with jobs. Entrepreneurial skills. I think it's important. Not all the youth have to be educated by the public service. We need to encourage it. There are funds that are available for skills training and for entrepreneurial ventures, and in whether it's in private pockets or international financial institutions will be able to give us those funds to give to our young people. The other areas are climate change. Climate change is so important. Now we are seeing the ravaging effects of climate change on Africa. Today, as we speak, look at what's happening with the hurricanes in the Caribbean, the devastation in the Pacific. So that's another area that we need to tackle. We need Africa to have that one voice. The Commonwealth to have that one voice to speak on behalf of the small states, small island states, small developing states. It is important. Sustainable development, it is extremely important that we speak on behalf. So that's what I'm also bringing to the table. Another area that I believe is important is to do with the reformation of the Commonwealth. We need to reform it, to make it fit for purpose, to be able to advance the cause of its members. I've done it before as chair of the Council of Ministers of the ECOWAS, when ECOWAS was going through its very turbulent times. Coups, 4 countries out of the 15 experienced coups. Apart from that, we had to reform the ECOWAS for more of the funds to be channeled into not into operations, but into programs. I think that's what we need to do. I've done it before. I come with a track record. I come with the experience, 7.5 years, going on to 8 years as foreign minister, and I believe that this is what I bring to the table. I have the qualifications and everything to ensure that what Baroness Scotland has started, we need to push it for it to benefit the countries that have decided that they want to be, that they are members of the Commonwealth. Yes. Let me say this before I end, that no country has left Commonwealth unless they have been suspended or pushed out. In fact, we all remain. It means that there is the potential. We see something good in the Commonwealth. That is why we are there. And there are a list of many countries that are waiting to join the Commonwealth. All goes to show that it's important. It has the potential. It's a sleeping giant, and we must wake it up. And I believe that I can do it.
And you certainly have the passion and the vigor for it. Minister Botchwey, it was a pleasure engaging you. Thank you so much. I do hope you get to visit our country a bit before you leave, and all the best with your candidature for the Commonwealth.
Thank you very much.
There you have it.
I love this area of Namibia. It's just beautiful. Walvis Bay is beautiful.
Fantastic.
The sand dunes, oh Lord.
Thank you so much, Minister.